You gotta love gooey, melty cheese on top of a burger. Well, the Juicy Lucy flips that and puts the cheese on the inside. So stick around and we'll show you the can't miss techniques on how to make the perfect Juicy Lucy. The Juicy Lucy has become infamous in the burger world. And some say that it was invented at Matt's Bar in Minneapolis, where they decided to take two thin patties and put cheese in the middle and then pinch the patties to create a pocket of cheese that was dubbed the Juicy Lucy. We'll start with quartering 6 slices of American cheese. This should be the perfect size to fit in the middle of each patty. Next up, we'll mince some garlic. Add the garlic to a mixing bowl, along with our ground beef, a little bit of Worcestershire sauce, and then season with some salt and a little freshly ground pepper. Lightly mix the ground beef with your fingertips, trying not to overwork the beef and warm it up too much. Next, lightly pack the meat into 8 equal portions. You'll want to make sure they're all about the same in volume, so we ensure that every patty is big enough to stuff with cheese. In order to keep the patties from sticking when flattened, I like to use parchment paper cut into squares just a little bit bigger than each hamburger patty. I'll use a heavy bottom skillet to help smash the balls of ground beef into patties. You want them to be about 1/4 inch thick. Otherwise, these burgers will be too thick and take forever to cook. Now it's time to start stuffing some of these patties. Spread out the slices of cheese so it covers the center of the patty, while leaving about 1 inch of uncovered meat around the cheese. Now top with another patty and work around the sides, pinching the meat together to seal. Try to work any air out of the center of the burger and make sure the edges are sealed well. You don't want the cheese oozing out while it cooks. So now I've allowed the patties to chill for a while, and it allows the fat to firm up. While that was happening, I prepped my buns and got all my toppings ready. And I've also got a toothpick, and I'll show you why in a second. But first, let's get these patties searing. I've preheated my cast iron pan to medium-high in order to get a nice sear on these patties. I like to lightly press on the first side of the patty immediately when it hits the pan. This will help create a great crust without squeezing out any of the juices. Once they've cooked for a few minutes on the first side, I'll check to make sure there's a nice crust. That crispy caramelized crust is what I'm going for on that initial sear. I'll use a toothpick to release a little of the pressure from the center of the patty while it cooks for a few more minutes. Then, check the internal temperature with a thermometer. You want to make sure these burgers are cooked through, especially since you're stuffing them, and you want that cheese to be good and gooey. While I let these rest for a few minutes, I'll start building my burger. First, a little iceberg lettuce because it's so crispy. Next, red onion because it has good flavor and adds crunch to the burger. Dill pickles are great because they add a nice sour note which rounds out the flavor of the burger. Finally, we'll go on with our hamburger patty and the crown of the bun. I like to let the patties rest for a few minutes before digging in because the cheese would be molten if it's right out of the pan or out of the grill. Let's cut this in half and get a look at that oozy center. That is perfect. Still hot and gooey, but won't burn your mouth like a pocket of cheesy lava. Remember to like and subscribe. And now, to get the full Juicy Lucy experience, I gotta take a bite of the whole burger. Oh man. Such a surprise having that melty cheese right in the middle. It's delicious.